explain to people why you're running again.
Sure. I truly feel Lois is going to be beatable this year. There are so many things that are different from the previous times I ran. Among other things, the district by itself is becoming more Republican overnight. It's 3% more Republican just since the last election. On top of that, there's going to be redistricting in the state, and it's widely believed they're going to turn this into an R-plus district. So that creates an excellent backdrop to run. But on top of that, just since the last election, Lois Frankel continues to be a horrible member of Congress, and that gives us more things to talk about. I mean, she's as corrupt. Some days we feel she's as corrupt as Sheila Churfillis McCormick. There always seems to be a scandal around her. But on top of that, she's voted to keep men and women's sports. She's voted against the Lake and Riley Act. She's voted against deporting illegal aliens convicted of DUIs. So that gives me a lot to attack her on. But on top of that, I've developed good name recognition from these previous runs and a learning curve. So there's just so much that makes me believe this is the year we can do it, and that's what made me throw my hat back in the ring.
Let me ask you what kind of support you're getting from the Republican Party, both the RPOF and the National Republican Congressional Committee. Are you getting support this round?
Well, I have an excellent relationship with all the above. They actually don't get involved in primaries, but I could tell you there's a much better dialogue this time. I think there's a much greater expectation from them, but also President Trump teams that this is going to be a winnable seat this year. And, I've proven to them that I'm a good campaigner. Remember, I've won 2 competitive primaries. The last one was against a guy who was much better funded than I was. And also in the general...
I don't know what happened there, but we'll try to get Dan back on the line, because sometimes that's just what happens. And this is a live radio program, so you hang in. This is for Congressional District 22. Dan is the Republican, and he is running in, I don't even realize, I have to, speak to him a little bit. I think that there is a primary yet again, and that just infuriates me when Republicans can't make up their minds early and they keep insisting that their candidates go through these costly, time-consuming, but mostly costly primaries, because it leaves very little for the general election. So I need to find out. I remember the last time there was a tremendous amount of money that was spent on the primary. Dan, are you with me?
Yeah, we got cut off there for a second, but I just came back on.
Okay. I was saying that it really infuriates me that candidates, especially candidates that we know are good candidates, end up exhausting their resources, and they spend a whole lot of time and money on these primaries when the party, this excuse that, we don't endorse, pre-general election. Well, let me tell you something. Democrats don't feel that way, and they end up with candidates who have enough money to compete in a general election. How do you feel about that?
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. We have a primary this year on August 18th, and whoever wins that then has literally about 10 weeks to turn around, get their act together, and raise funding for the general election. And if we spend that whole time between now and then, spending our time and money beating each other up, so whoever wins is going to win, but have very, very little left in the tank. And this is one of the reasons why, I've been meeting with people in the district to line up support. And I feel this time around I'm going to be coming into this primary with substantially more support than last time. I've, like I said before, and I don't know when I got cut off, but I truly feel I've proven that I'm a good campaigner, just given how decisively I've won, especially the most recent primary, and how in the general election I held my own with President Trump and Rick Scott with the same voters. So, given the much better fact pattern we have this year with a better district, but also a much worse track record from our incumbent to run on. I feel very strongly this is the year we can do it.
Well, let me ask you a question. I mean, obviously, this is this is the home district of the President of the United States, and he has supported you in the past. And again, here we go. Nobody's going to say anything during the primary season. But do you feel that President Trump is going to be useful? Because when he's not on the ticket, it's difficult to ride any of his coattails.
So I was endorsed by the president last time, and that was an incredible honor. I have already started the discussions to get that started, to get that endorsement hopefully earlier on this year, so that by itself will be helpful. But yes, the president has said he's going to be extremely active this year in the midterms. He gets at that. There are a lot of voters that don't come out unless he's on the ballot, so he's basically effectively going to put himself on the ballot. I think Susie Wiles said pretty soon he's going to dedicate a day a week to running for the midterms, and then as we get closer, they're going to do a convention. So I think this is going to be tremendous for helping Republicans all over the country, especially the person running in his district.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you a question. For people who know nothing about you, give them a little background. I know you're a businessman. I know that you have a lot of experience in community service. You're dyed-in-the-wool conservative. Why should people pay attention to your campaign now?
Well, you just hit a lot of my great speaking points. I mean, people ask me if there's just one thing you want me to remember. I say, well, I'm a businessman, and I'll bring a businessman's perspective to Washington. And yes, I do have a great track record as a leader, both in the community and in the business world. And I'll tell you an anecdote. Not too long ago, I caught up with the guy who was my boss for my last 10 years of working. And he told me if anyone ever calls him up to check me out, he'll tell them, if you want to get something done, put Dan Franzese in charge of it. So I would tell people, let's send Dan Franzese to Washington to help President Trump finish the job of making America great again.
How many people are there in this primary? I'm sorry, I don't know, because it changes all the time.
Last I checked, there were five people besides me who had filed.
Oh, Lord. And you said it's August?
August 18th, that's right.
That really doesn't give anybody a lot of time to jump into that general election. You know, hopefully some of them will just fall by the wayside because they won't be able to raise money. Now, what other kinds of personal expertise do you bring? I mean, being a businessman is important, but, you know, you're going to be weighing in on foreign policy, and we've got a president who is out there doing a lot of things across the world.
Well, first of all, I like what he's doing, but very importantly, everything he does, whether it's domestic policy or foreign policy, has one overriding principle: America first. Do what's the most important thing for our country. And I like what he does when he takes a look at how we're going to react in different situations. So that a lot of people have said, is he spending a lot of time overseas? And I say yes, but I say yes a lot. But at the same time, these are all things that ultimately affect our country, and he's doing it in a way that helps our interests. And I would most certainly support him on that. And yes, my principal background is in business, but I've also been a leader in different organizations. I was a church leader and a youth sports leader. And from that, I learned how to work with people and like my old boss said, how to get stuff done.
Mm-hmm. Well, Floridians have, notoriously been able to win in districts that people thought they couldn't win. So I never say no, and I never say never. I certainly wish you the best of luck. What kind of events do you have coming up? How can people get a hold of your campaign?
Sure. So if you want to learn more about me, you can go to my website. It's danforusa.com. That's the word FOR, danforusa.com. That's where you can learn more about me. And, of course, if you like what you see, there's a big red Donate Now button on every page. But there's also places where you can sign up to get involved in the campaign. Right now, I'm putting together a number of small coffees all throughout the district. So if there's anyone on the line here who's in the district and would be interested in hosting a coffee, no donation required in their home, I'd love to come over and talk to some voters, and we can help you put that together. But look, I've got, at the end of the last campaign, I had 400 volunteers signed up. We're reaching out to all of them. There's a lot of enthusiasm to get involved. So I've proved I have the best ground game in the county. It's going to get even better this time. So I'm very excited about my prospects this year.
He's also got one of the best campaign people out there, Vicky Franzese.